Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Maximilian College Basketball Picks and Analysis for Thursday, January 8th. I'm your host, Max Hofmeyer, and I've got another three-pack of games that we will be discussing today. But first, let's go over the recap of last show, and you might notice changed up the records a little bit. Overall records, 364 and 295. That's the season record for subscribers in the Maximilian Discord this season. And if you're interested in joining, you can go ahead and either shoot me a DM if you follow me on Twitter or an email. All that information's on my YouTube page, so it should be easy to find. And then the one below is the free plays on the show. Since we started these YouTube videos, I feel like we've had enough of them now where I can put a full record instead of just the last show. But 19 and 10, been a great start to the free plays. So like that, hopefully we can keep it going. And yeah, no different here on Wednesday's episode, a nice little 2-1 for another winning day. So we will absolutely take that. And for the first one, let's go ahead and start with Towson, the struggling Towson Tigers, who are -1.5 here, versus Hofstra in a little afternoon snack, little appetizer of a game at 12:30. So if you're paying attention, you might be able to catch that one. Like I mentioned, though, Towson really been struggling. They're 0-3 in conference play, despite being one of the better teams, one of the favorites to win the conference. But they have been a little unlucky in those three games. They had expected win probabilities of 87%, 78%, 48%. So this is just not a team that we would expect to be 0-3. And those expected win probabilities, those are based on the quality of shots taken in those games. So just a little unlucky for them so far. Meanwhile, Hofstra's been the opposite. Winners of their first two conference games, and both of them were actually lucky wins, as we did not expect them to beat Drexel nor Campbell. So a little lucky there for the Pride to start. Towson's two best players, too. Their leaders really been struggling, especially from deep. Dill Williamson, he's shooting 32% on the year, but he's a career 37% shooter. And same with Tyler Tejada, 33% in his career, but just a bad 26% on the season. So I think they do get right here eventually. And I mean, this is a team that I had, kind of high expectations here for. So I do think it's a good buy low spot on Towson, who is getting a little desperate here, 0-3 in the conference. They need to win. So we're going to go ahead and take Towson -1.5 for the first play. And next up, we got Appalachian State here on the road playing Georgia State, where they are road favorites of 1.5 points. Georgia State off to a 2-2 start in the Sun Belt, but it has been a little suspect. They're shooting 39% from deep in those four conference games, which is much higher than their 29% clip on the season. You could argue, yeah, they were expected some regression, but that's quite the switch to flip there, going from 29 to 39. So I do think it's swung a little far, and I think they cool off here. App State, on the other hand, they're off a Marshall loss, and that was one that we actually expected to be an outright victory. So I do think they bounce back. And if App State can limit that three ball that has been hot for Georgia State of late, I think they have a really good chance, because inside the arc, Georgia State does not take great shots. Their average 2-point distance is 8 feet, which ranks 359th out of 365 teams. So this is just not a team that takes good shots. So as long as that three ball cools down, I do think App State gets the outright win here, and -1.5. Hopefully it can just be by more than 2 points. And for the last play, we head to the Summit, where South Dakota State here at home is laying 7.5 points versus Denver. Denver's off a close one with another premier Summit League team, St. Thomas, but that was one we didn't really expect to be close. So South Dakota State, they should get whatever they want here on offense. This is an offense that's averaging 4.7 feet on their average 2-point distance. So they're getting a ton, or excuse me, that's Denver's defense. They're allowing 4.7 2-point distance. So 357th in the country. So this is a defense that gives up a ton at the rim. And South Dakota State in their two conference games here have really been attacking the rim 4.3 feet to average 2-point distance here for themselves. And they were ultra efficient because of those close, high quality shots, shooting 57% from two. So I don't think there's any reason, to expect South Dakota State to not get more of the same easy looks. This Denver team just is not, their defense ranks very poorly. So, and South Dakota State, they did lose to North Dakota in their last game, so I think this is a good bounce back spot for them at home. So for the final play, let's go ahead and take the Jackrabbits here minus the 7.5. And that will do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe to the new channel. You don't want to miss any future episodes. And let me know in the comments if you're tailing any of these plays or if you like anything else on the board. It's a loaded one for Thursday. Thanks for watching, and best of luck.